Hello, my name is Alfred Kendrick, and I'm here in Los Angeles, California, Old Muscle Beach, Santa Monica, and I am a personal trainer and capoeira teacher. As a kid, I loved martial arts. I was always enjoying martial arts films, and I was very open to different styles of martial arts. And in numerous films, I've seen the martial art capoeira, but it was very rare and very unavailable at this time in the early 90s. I got involved when I went to Florida State University in Tallahassee, Florida, and I trained with a teacher named Professor Aranya. 10 years later, here I am in LA teaching, performing, and spreading the art of capoeira. Capoeira is a huge martial art as well as involves a lot of Afro-Brazilian culture. It's a very diverse martial art, meaning that it includes lots of factors like acrobatics, kickboxing martial art techniques, strikes, hand strikes, headbutts, grappling, sparring, takedowns. There's also a huge, unique music segment that's involved in capoeira that's not used in many other martial arts. We have lead instruments called the beat and bow, which are long sticks with a string attached and a gourd on the end. We have drums that we play called the atabaque, as well as tambourine instruments that are called pandero, and many more instruments just depending on the style of capoeira that you practice. The instruments and the music's very important. All the practitioners or capoeiristas that train capoeira sing. We all sing. We learn the Brazilian Portuguese and we sing songs, as well as the instruments that are playing at the same time. They determine the style of capoeira you're playing. The music determines the speed that you play, and it determines what you would do in that game or that sport at the moment that you're playing in capoeira. So if the music's slow, then your movement is slow. If the music's fast, then your movement is fast. And the rhythm that's being played will determine if you're going to fight, it will determine if you're going to dance, or it will determine if you're going to play. And it also determines if you're just going to do a great exhibition. One of the most common questions or misconceptions about capoeira is it choreographed? It's not at all choreographed unless it's a performance, maybe a show, and in that case, maybe it's choreographed. But the actual art of capoeira is not choreographed. It's improvised. You have to respond to what the person puts forth you. You have to respond to their movement, their attack, as well as they have to respond to your movement and your attack. In the training of capoeira, you learn thousands and thousands of movements and sequences and combinations, and it's up to you to exhibit those movements in whatever manner you see fit. Now that fitness is becoming bigger, martial arts is becoming bigger, dance is becoming bigger. Many other art forms of just moving in general is becoming bigger because more people are involved into their health and they're interested into being healthy and getting in shape. A lot of people who've been working out and training for a while are looking for new ways to use their body, new ways to get in shape, and they are more becoming involved into body weight training, maybe things similar to handstands or just using their own body weight to get in shape. And capoeira has that. Capoeira has those movements for 400 years. So in the capoeira, it's not a real great need to try to create and invent new exercises because we have so many exercises in the art, and these movements are used on a day-to-day basis for our training. And most people who train capoeira regularly, they look really, really good. And these movements, the capoeira movements, are able to tone the whole body because you're using your whole body at the same time. When one sees capoeira on the street, it's so graceful, it's so fluid that they don't understand that there's a specific technique behind each movement that's performed. Capoeira is taught in classes, and each step, each movement is a calculated step. It's an actual movement, starting with the basic movement called ginga. Ginga is a sway from side to side with the body, and then leading into different types of kicks, kicks that could be aggressive, non-aggressive. Depends on the type of dialogue you want to establish with the person, the game or the style of capoeira you're playing. It can be an expression. It's a huge expression of how you're feeling. The instruments that are playing, the music that's playing will determine your speed, your style, and the manner that you're playing capoeira. One thing that many people don't understand about capoeira is that it's a lot of different things. It's more than one thing, and it actually is a dance, and it actually is a performance. But in true detail, it's a martial art, and depending on who's doing capoeira and why they're doing it, it's gonna be what they're going to present themselves with the most. If you like to dance, maybe you do more dance aspects of the art. If you like to do martial arts, maybe you do more of the fighting, the martial art aspects. If you like to do acrobatics, maybe you'll train more acrobatics. The art itself is a game and it's a sport. And we play it and we train it and we dance it and we fight it. And it just depends on the person, the practitioner of the art. Is going to display what themselves do. On TV, it's more important that they show the glamour of capoeira. So that's why in music videos and TV commercials, you see a lot of people doing flips because they make more money and it's better than getting beat up. And oftentimes you'll see people using capoeira as a martial art, but it's done in private, it's done in schools, and it's done in training. It's really challenging in the beginning, and therefore it grows very slow in America because people don't like the challenge. They like to see the amazing flips and the amazing kicks, and they want to do that right away. And because it's challenging, because it takes time to build up to that level, I think that it slows the progression here. But people who are committed, people who are used to learning, people who are used to taking their time with an art form can appreciate capoeira and can take their time to become professionals and really good capoeiristas, which what we call people who train capoeira. Training capoeira doesn't take much equipment. It doesn't take any equipment at all. It's the great part about it is that you can do it anywhere. It's a lot of people trained on the streets in Brazil, and they learn tons of acrobatics and they learn many things without injuring themselves. You just have to have good teaching, good instructions. When doing the acrobatics, they could be very dangerous, so it's best to find a great martial arts or a capoeira instructor in your area that could help guide you in these movements. But we have our technique and we have our style to teaching the movements. And in this sense, these movements will not hurt you as much as doing some other more jerky gymnastics movements, but they're great and they're beautiful looking. People who are looking to start or practice the art of capoeira have to find a school, and that's the hard part. Finding a school that's accredited or teaches really great capoeira in the city or area they live in is quite difficult because there's not a lot of capoeira schools around. But the best place, I guess, is to just look online and search capoeira, spelled Capoeira, and look for a capoeira school near where you live. Today you guys are going to see many elements of the Afro-Brazilian martial art capoeira, as well as elements of training blended together in one to achieve a really great workout that could work the whole entire body at the same time, instead of working only parts of the body with general traditional weight training techniques. Okay, the first movement I'm going to demonstrate for you guys is the ginga. The ginga is the base for capoeira. It's your main movement. It's a sway from side to side, and just like any other martial art, it is the foundation. This movement is very technical. When seen, people may not realize how technical the movement is, but it's very technical, calculated step. And it starts in a middle position where you're squatted down, similar to a horse stance, and people who are familiar with martial arts. And then you would take one leg back, similar to a front stance. And from there, you will alternate between a front stance and a horse stance, moving your body, swaying from side to side. And each step, you're always ready, you're very alert, and can do any movement that you need to do from that position. And instead of just having a basic square, same tempo position, the ginga can be done